My name is Amanda Chaff, and this is my level for my Project and Portfolio 4 course. We were told to design a level with 3 paths that connect to the starting area and the ending area. As a nonlinear game, the player will be traversing the entirety of the level and not just choosing one of the paths. We have one required objective that the player must complete, as well as 3 optional objectives that they are welcome to complete if they so choose. For my level, I decided to go with a Japanese tea garden theme. And the story of my level follows this main character. His name is Jiro, and he is in search for his lost memories. In order to complete the level, the required objective is for Jiro to find the 3 missing memories within the level by completing different puzzles. Once he has collected the 3 memories, he is able to enter the pagoda in the distance, which will be the end point for the game on the very top floor. So let's get traversing. So in the beginning here, the player in the starting area will see that as they look around, there are 3 different chests that will be closed when the game is finished and the mechanics are up and running. The player will be drawn to these 3 chests, particularly the one right in front of them. When they go up here, the player will encounter their first puzzle. And as an introductory to the puzzle, it is simple, and it would just be lighting this Toro lantern right here, which would then open the chest, and inside the player will find some yen that the player may collect. One of the optional objectives that the player could do with that yen is to toss it into the lake as just a fun little sort of coin tossing objective. So the player can complete this. This would also be one of the optional objectives, is the introductory puzzles. These are not mandatory, nor is collecting yen. The second puzzle that the player will interact with is a pressure plate puzzle. This will include rolling this stone onto this pressure pad. Once the pressure is applied to the pressure pad, this chest will open, also giving the player some more yen. And then off to the left here, on this final path, the player will have their third puzzle type, which would be another sort of pressure plate puzzle, except this one will be a sequence puzzle. And as an introductory to this puzzle, the player will just step onto the pressure plate themselves, unlocking the chest and collecting more yen. All 3 of these are optional. Collecting yen is optional, and tossing the yen into bodies of water is optional. I will also be placing fountains and or koi ponds in areas that the player may toss yen into as well. Those are my 3 optional objectives. After the player has chosen a path and or decided to complete these 3 introductory puzzles, we will go down one of the first paths here, where the player will encounter one of their first required objectives, which is collecting the memory from this box. The player will not know that this is required at the start of the level. They will find out if they approach the pagoda that it will be asking for 3 memories, and the player will soon discover that the chest will need to be opened. So this puzzle becomes a little more challenging here, as the player will need to light all 3 of the Toro lanterns simultaneously, as they will time out after a certain amount of time. Once all 3 are lit simultaneously, the chest will open, and the player may collect the glowing orb memory inside. This will be the first mandatory puzzle they will encounter. They are welcome to walk into the Zen garden that I have created. Thinking about adding some stepping stones in here as giving a more of a breadcrumby or pathway effect here, a little more obvious of a pathway. At the end of this path over here, the player will come across another one of those pressure pad sequence puzzles. They will have to correctly guess which order the plates need to be stepped on in order to unlock the chest. So if the correct code were to be 1, 2, 3, and the player were to step on 2, 3, 1, the chest would not open. However, once they get the 1, 2, 3, the chest would unlock and the player may collect the glowing orb inside in the memory. Once they've completed that puzzle, the player may run all the way over to the third puzzle. Again, they can complete any of these in whatever order they so choose. They may run around the entirety of the level in any directions they so wish. Nothing needs to be completed in a specific order by any means. Just as long as the 3 memories are obtained, they will be able to open the door to the pagoda and get to the end point. In the last puzzle here, this will be the upgraded version to the pressure plate puzzle that we saw prior in the beginning. Here are some more stones that the player will need to roll onto the pressure plate. And once both stones are on both of the pressure plates, the chest will open and the player may obtain their 3rd memory. Now, this concludes the objectives and a tour of the optional objectives as well. The yen, the throwing of the yen into the bodies of water, the collecting of all yen, solving every single puzzle, again, being the 3 optional objectives. The player is welcome to complete anything in any order they so choose. Once they get all 3 of those memories, this door that I will place here will unlock, and they will be able to reach the end point at the top of this pagoda after climbing up all these stairs. I also had a thought of adding some more optional objectives throughout the pagoda, maybe some more yen collection, or perhaps adding some more puzzles within here to get to each floor they would need to complete. However, once the player gets to the top here, the end point will activate and the player will have completed this level. I thank you for watching my level tour, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.